order and stand for the invocation with Commissioner McAleese and then the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the city of South Pasadena and all who call it home. We ask for your guidance and steady hand upon our commissioners, directors, and every employee who serves our community. Grant them wisdom, patience, and clarity as they lead. We also ask your blessing over our law enforcement officers and first responders. Protect them as they protect us and give them the strength, courage, and compassion in their daily work. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Meyer.
Here.
McAleese.
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This morning we're going to conduct an agenda meeting for the March 10th regular commission meeting and then immediately followed by an administrative workshop. First, we're going to review the proposed items for next week's meeting. First item we're going to have is our consent agenda, and that will be the approval of the commission meeting minutes for the month of February 2026, which are, of course, on file in the city clerk's office. The next item we will have is we're going to appoint people to apartments. So we'll be appointing the safety department, the public works, the public safety, and finance. We're going to give you guys all stuff to do. Not that you don't have enough already. Then we're going to appoint a vice mayor. Woohoo! That's always fun, huh? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to appoint 9 members to the Charter Review Committee according to the ballot and ranking. So we'll see how all that works out for us. So everybody fine with all these items we've got? Looks like a pretty simple meeting unless we add more today. So at this point, we're going to accept this as it is, and I am going to adjourn this meeting. Let's head downstairs. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call the workshop to order. Ask Carly to do a roll call again.
Meyer.
Here.
McAleese.
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here. And it looks like our first item is the Pasadena Avenue Safety Assessment with Whit Blanton. Come on up, Whit.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
For those who don't know me, I'm the executive director of Fort Pinellas, and it's nice to be back here in South Pasadena. I wanted to bring an item to your attention just to get your feedback and guidance before we moved any further. Just tell a little story. I was riding my bike on the Pinellas Trail, and I looked out over Pasadena Avenue, where the state last year removed the Sunrunner bus and turn lane, and they left the shared lane marking in the middle of the street. And I had a phone call the other day from Secretary Justin Hall, who's our District 7 Secretary of DOT, and we started talking about that, and I just said, you know, my experience, and I've been a bicycle pedestrian planner for 37 years or so, is that a shared lane marking like that is appropriate on a low-speed, low-volume street, like a neighborhood street. It's not necessarily appropriate on an arterial 6-lane state highway. Even if the posted speed is 35 miles an hour through there, most people aren't driving 35 miles an hour, and only the bravest, most ambitious, most devil-may-care bicyclist is going to be in that lane, traveling, controlling the lane. And I think you'll end up seeing a lot of people up on the sidewalk or just not riding. And it's actually less safe to ride on the sidewalk in areas where you have a lot of curb cuts and driveways because you're out of the motorist's line of vision. So Justin offered to use his general engineering consultant on his own dime with his own money to look at some potential safety modifications in that corridor. I think when we had the bus and turn lane and the shared lane marking, there was a perception, at least, that cars weren't going to be traveling down that corridor except for short distances, and they weren't going to be going particularly fast. Right. And the buses don't generally drive very fast anyway, so that provides some protection. You took that away, not you, but that went away, and then the bicyclist is just exposed. So we did not talk about any specific remedies, but what he said is he would have his engineering consultant look at it, maybe identify some feasible options. And it could be that the sidewalk gets widened a little bit. And I don't know if you've been up to Clearwater and you've seen, we have a Druid Road trail on Druid Road in Clearwater. And it's a wide sidewalk, but it's marked and striped as a trail. And it's actually called the Druid Road Trail. Whenever every driveway, there's yellow striping, there's signage. I mean, motorists come to expect that there's going to be bicyclists on there. So something like that could be an option. He mentioned, potentially looking at the lane widths and seeing if we could squeeze out enough room to put in a bike lane, maybe a protected bike lane with a barrier. That might be a little tougher because I don't think you have a ton of right-of-way out there. Yeah. But, without getting into solutions, I just wanted to see if you all would be supportive of me returning the phone call to the secretary and saying, yeah, we'd like you to proceed with that analysis. Our staff thinks it might be complementary to the redevelopment work that we're doing for your commercial corridor. And, I've seen whenever you make it friendly to bicyclists to ride, they spend money and they use it. And they'll stop into business, they'll make short trips, but absent that protection or comfort, you're getting people driving. And once they get in their car, they're inclined to go longer distances and they may drive out of town.
Or they just bypass your area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's all I've got for you today. I don't know what it's going to cost or when we'd get started, but I'd be happy to report that back to either Commissioner Reed or to the mayor or to Carly and let you know how.
As an avid rider myself, and knowing several other avid riders in our community, I think it would be a great thing, because that's one of the things I've heard since they took the bus part of it out of it, is they felt safer with the bus, when it was a bus lane, and now that that's gone, while they still ride in it because they see the bike thing, they're scared. They're worried. They always constantly look behind them. They said, so now they're up on the sidewalk, which is where I'm at. Because I'm not getting out there because I've seen these people come flying by.
I'm with you.
Honking that horn, and I'm like, okay, I'll get up here till I get to Sunset here, and I'll come down this way and get out of the main drag, head over to the trail. But yeah, I think that would be a wonderful thing if it could make it happen. Because I always thought it would be great to have a protected lane like they have over on First Avenue. But do we have? I don't know if we got enough room for that. But the sidewalk thing, that would probably be a great possibility. I don't know how everybody else feels. So
For it.
100% on board.
Having been one of those crazy people in the bus lane with my bike and seen how they disregard the fact that you're a bike, and I think anything we can do to make that safer, I'm all for it.
sounds like you
And
got
to your point,
consensus.
if we can get people, maybe they come off the trail, because there's some places along the trail you get off to go for have lunch or someplace. You know, I like to go to the Tiki Hut at the trailer park up there on the other side of the bay. So if you have a protected way to get there, they might come down and, use some of our businesses, so I'm all for it. Great idea, Wood.
Right, so I assume the offer's still on the table from the department. We spoke about a month ago, so I'll call them back and just let them know that whenever they're ready, you're ready. We'll develop a scope of work, and I'll make sure that you have a chance to look at that scope of work, and we'll get going.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
And I thought we like a little good news around
Either
here.
of us has to spend any money.
While you're here, what's going on with the development aspect? How are we doing on that? You got updates on that?
Yeah, we have a staff meeting, our internal staff with Fort Pinellas is scheduled for Thursday.
Okay.
And then, community meeting has been penciled in for March 31st.
Oh, good.
So, it's moving.
Awesome.
And you were at you may have missed our meeting. I'm trying to remember. where we had the visualization of
Yeah, I was not
development
able to
form.
make that board meeting,
I'll
unfortunately.
make sure that that presentation finds its way to you all, because
please.
That'd be nice.
our board was really impressed. And Nicole Galasso is one of our staff members, and she's developed a skill using this GIS software called Arc Urban, and it allows you to visualize changes in building form, massing, density, scale, and it also includes some really cool like market demand bells and whistles that can help you kind of understand dynamics of development. It has a pro forma feature to see if a developer is going to make money if you give him or her 2 or 3 stories or 4 stories or whatnot, and it allows you to look at the parking footprint, the setbacks, and we've had a number of requests since that presentation, so we're going to be talking with Treasure Island and a couple of other communities now about that. So I'll make sure that gets in your hands and you can at least take a look at it, because that may be a component of this down the
I
road.
always felt that if, that Pasadena Avenue needed to just look nicer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just,
Facelift.
it's like people just want to get through it and get to the beach. But it'd be nice if they had a nice corridor to go through before you get to the beach. Kind of like when you're going out to Treasure Island on Central or something, you know? And of course, I think this bike thing might help do some of that. So it might make everything look a little better, make people come in, make new businesses show up, and populate everything, so. But great.
See what we can do to help.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yep, have a great day, Whit. Thank
On
you.
a side note, just to build on that merit, the staff is also scheduling meetings with FDOT for the beautification of Pasadena Avenue.
Oh.
And we have a separate meeting scheduled with them to discuss, the city's signage along Pasadena Avenue, because that is a different group with FDOT
Yes.
than the landscaping. So we're working with 2 separate groups at FDOT to discuss beautifying our signage and beautifying like the landscaping on the outside.
Good. Maybe before I get thrown out in 2030, we'll have something.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Bring all that together.
Yeah.
So it's not all one project, but they're all complementary. It's sort of a
Yeah.
package deal.
Great.
See you.
Good. All right. So next is going to be the Charter Review Committee applications.
Yes, I will speak on that. So we, had sent out, originally we sent out 4 applications that were received prior to the deadline on Friday. We received one very shortly after the deadline, so that was sent out as a follow-up, which means we got 5 external, applications. We have a seat noted for Commissioner McAleese, as you all had discussed, having him serve, so that's 6. Spoken with Ray Robinson, the charter calls for us to have a committee of 9, but they have advised that we can basically, I'm sorry, this is Jennifer Spath, she's sitting in. I don't know, I was not in the
There
room.
was no
when she came.
sign or
Sorry,
anything.
this is Jennifer Spath, sorry.
Mystery guest.
Kristen's out of town, so she's filling in for us this morning. So please jump in if I start saying anything incorrectly.
Doing great.
But they've advised that we can kind of move forward with the process, but leaving those remaining seats basically as vacant. So it's still intended to be a committee of 9, but we just didn't get 9. We discussed reposting the vacancies for the remainder of this week, just to see if any additional come in.
I'm trying.
But
to
also
beg people.
recognizing like the process needs to move forward. So if you all are okay with that, that's what we would plan to do, is repost it, ask for them again, you know, hey, you got till this Friday afternoon, send you all whatever we get, and if it's 9, great, if not, we would bring them for you to vote on next Tuesday evening, to approve those that you would like to. You don't have to choose all the ones, you know, it's in a little bit of a difficult spot not getting as many as we needed. But if you had concerns, you can always discuss that today if you had a chance to review the ones that we sent you. And then we would have an item for you next Tuesday for you to vote on appointing.
Which that section seems like a section that needs to be amended.
It
No less than 5,
Up to-
9, yeah.
up
I
to
mean,
9.
knowing that we can move forward if we need to and just kind of have the seats marked as vacant is helpful. That's something that I'll definitely bring up with the committee during the process. If they don't have other changes, I don't know that you
It's
all
hard to
would
get
want to
people
go
to
to
run for
referendum
election,
just for
let
that.
alone running for a committee.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
so
in our small community, 9 people.
Get rid of
is a
term limits
lot.
and eliminate that phrase, we got it made.
It's a lot, so I'm definitely gonna have that earmarked for this charter review process to look at.
Okay.
But this would be y'all's chance to discuss the ones that we got, discuss moving forward. I will say that moving forward with the ones we have does mean we have an even number, which isn't necessarily ideal, but I feel like it would be hard to use that as a basis to not appoint someone because you're trying to continue filling those seats. Like if you tried to only have it be 5 and then you got another one, you call this one, it just makes it complicated. So I think we would just try to roll with 6.
And like we said too, we were speaking before the meeting, just because we did get that late interest late on Friday, it just makes more sense to see what, if
To
anybody.
extend it to see if anybody else, yeah.
The applicants you got are all really high quality, in
I
my opinion.
agree.
Yeah, they are. Very good. Yeah.
And we will verify their voter registration status. I don't ask for those numbers on these because that becomes public record, but I will contact them to verify that they are registered voters because they have to be. But other than that, yeah, I think that there's a good mix of backgrounds, so.
Well, good, at least we can get started on it. And when would this start? When is the?
So the appointment is scheduled to be next Tuesday. We would reach out to them. Yeah, I believe, if I go back to my notes, the chair would call the first meeting, and typically we start with the commissioner chairing, is that correct?
Right, and yes, and so when I was prepping for the meeting too, my notes indicate it would be the last week of March, so towards the
Yeah.
end of the month.
Because we try to give a little bit of notice, but we would try to schedule within the next couple of weeks, and then the committee determines how often and how much they want to meet. In theory, they could do fewer really long meetings, or they could meet, it's completely dependent on what the committee wants to do. We just make ourselves available as best we can to do what they want to do.
Okay.
And of course, next week's meeting, everybody needs to kind of dress up a little bit, right?
I'm sorry?
Everybody needs to dress up for the next meeting? For pictures?
Yes,
Somebody getting sworn in or
but
something?
unrelated to that, yes. You all would be getting an email from me. Yes, we will be having a swearing in next Tuesday evening. So there will be pictures taken. This would be for the mayor being reelected unopposed. Very, very happy about that.
Invite friends, family, bring them all. you know.
Yeah, so we'll have a light reception for that. So yes, and I try to send email reminders of like your pictures will be taken. So
Yeah.
dress accordingly. But yes, that will be next Tuesday evening as well.
Okay,
So.
perfect. Okay, then I guess our next is commission department assignments. This year, I mean, usually I like to give you guys where I think everything's gonna work, and we've had some major changes in finance this year. I'd like to keep Gail in that position, at least for another year, just to get us through all of this, since she's been totally involved in the whole process. The rest of you guys have been in your spots for like a year, so maybe just everybody stay where you're at for one more year, and then we'll do some switching up next year. Everybody's okay with that.
I feel like I'm just getting trained well.
I think Tom's never been in finance, so.
And Tom's happy not to go.
Oh,
And
by
tell-
then, she'll have it all
I wanna
sorted out
make
for you.
sure Gail signs all the checks before I get to that role.
I signed a few checks, but I will say I'm signing a few less checks.
Well, that's, make sure when I, next year if I go there, that there's no checks.
That's right,
Good
that's
things
right.
happening in finance.
I don't know, I think she discovered the other day that I could probably sign checks, so I don't know. Uh-oh. Okay, well then that settles that one.
Okay.
We got nothing else on the agenda, but we got through this pretty quickly. I'd like to just talk about something real quick. Carly has showed us at the last meeting, the information on the new shirts for the city.
I do have an update on that too.
Well, my wife and I are going on a transatlantic cruise in April. And so one of the things on the ship they've asked, the group has asked to do is bring something from a souvenir from your hometown. So we thought, hey, this would be good, because a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, we had went into Ace Hardware, and they had these little wooden things you put up on your counter, and it said, Friends and Family, South Pasadena. I was like, oh, great. So I thought, well, let's see if we can get one of those. Well, we went back there, they didn't have anymore. It's all St. Pete Beach, St. Pete, that kind of thing. So then we went to, we thought we'd go to the winery. Here they've got something. Everything is St. Pete. No South Pasadena, anything. So then we thought about Ted Peters, but nope, there's St. Pete. So, right then I was just getting frustrated that in my own city, I can't find anybody that sells anything that says South Pasadena on it. So my thought was, and I don't know how we would do this, or if we can't do this, but maybe when we get the shirts, that we might offer these to some of the shops to have a few in their stores. If people want to buy them, we give it to, whatever we can do. I did a search online just to say, hey, souvenirs for South Pasadena, Florida. Well, Amazon has magnets, and they have a tote bag. Wow.
Yeah.
That looks very nice. Everybody want to pass those around, you can give those
Where
to
did
Carly.
these come from?
Amazon.
Really? How could I have missed it? I'm on there every day.
That tote bag is cool. The bag looked nice. And they were and I think the bag was like $15. And I don't know if there would be a discount if we were to purchase a number of them from them or something. Or have the magnets for people that want something like that. But something we could maybe get these stores to say, here, let's just put a few in here to see if somebody would buy them from you. Somebody might want. During that process, I came up with this little article, which you guys can have, and I can print more out for you or whatever. We can make copies for you. But it's a very good article about South Pasadena, and it promotes us exceptionally well. You get near the end of it, and they start talking about some things outside of our city, but it comes right back to South Pasadena again.
Where was that?
But this was I found it online when I was doing this search. It was just a big promotional item for South Pasadena, but we can make copies for all of you. You can read it in your spare time, or I can send you the link, either way, that you can read it. But it's just something I thought we should try to do. It just was so aggravating, and it's been aggravating for years to have these, some of our most popular restaurants in our city advertised as being in St. Petersburg.
I agree.
And it's just, no matter, and of course, I understand they've got money invested in advertising and everything else, and it would cost money for them to switch their names around, but, we do a lot for the businesses here, and I just think that, they ought to pay a little bit back for us. Somehow, I don't know. I know we try to get new businesses to change their name, to make sure they're in South Pasadena. But, I don't think you can force anybody to do anything. Would be nice, as long as, and of course, I used to be the big thing, when I first got in here, almost 18 years ago now, it was a big thing about, well, are they paying taxes to St. Petersburg instead of at us? Of course, that's not true. We get our money from these businesses, but still, it'd be nice if they promoted our city. We got no promotion in our city, and we just need something. If they could just switch it out. So, but anyway, I found those little items. I love that tote bag. He's a great looking turtle, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, I remember when I was running for reelection, I talked to a couple of businesses. Said, why do you say you're in St. Pete when you're in South Pasadena? Well, everybody knows St. Pete. Nobody knows South Pasadena. I said, how do you expect they're going to ever know it if you don't use the name where you're located?
Yeah.
I think if we can make a push to more branding, if you will, pride in where you're located, not putting yourself in a generic, because St. Pete can be viewed as a generic area.
Yeah.
Well, and especially anything new coming into the city.
Right.
We definitely want them to, whatever logo they have and anything South Pasadena.
Well, the problem is our zip code is shared by South Pasadena, Gulfport, and St. Pete.
Right.
Yep.
So maybe we need to petition the Postal Service for a new zip code.
Give us.
Well, then they have to get the mail delivered to South Pasadena. They have to say they're located in South Pasadena.
Yeah. Did you get that sometimes? If you bought stuff online and you put in your zip code and
Yeah,
says
they-
St. Pete or
St.
Minnesota,
Pete.
Gulfport, yeah.
and you have to type in South Pasadena,
Yep.
they don't even count us. Okay, well, that's all I got. Unless anybody else has anything else they'd like to discuss today?
Yep.
Oh,
I
so
think
what's
staff
your
just has a couple of small
staff?
things too.
All
Yeah,
right.
So,
Okay, bring up
do
the
you want to
staff
go or do
that
you
wants to
want Terry
talk
raise
to
your
us.
hand? I'll let her go first.
Oh, God. Sad.
Actually, I have some good stuff too, so.
Okay, good.
So just to let you all know.
Marcus Jones, our new planner that we hired back in June, has accepted a position with the Air Force. So he had applied for it right out of college, and the program that he was applying for got put on hold with the new administration, and they opened it back up and called him and said, "Do you still want it?" So he's going to be leaving us in the middle of the month, and he's moving to Colorado Springs. So, yeah, so,
So we're gonna be advertising again.
we will be advertising for a planner, so, that's
Okay.
that. On the good side, we got the permit application for Chipotle. So hopefully that will,
Chipotle's.
Chipotle.
Oh, good.
So that should be moving forward very
Great.
shortly. We got the information together for the closed businesses and open businesses. We finally were able to gather all that, and we've given it to Kelly, so we're working on putting the map together for you guys to look at.
Awesome, thank you.
So we are working on that.
So sad to hear about scooters.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was a shock.
I thought they were doing well, because in the mornings I'd see cars out there, but I don't know. Maybe it was taking too long to get your order, or it was something else, but,
I don't know, it's just, I think we're doing okay,
yeah, yeah. And now even Starbucks doesn't want to see us anymore, so. But you would think with Chipotle going there, they'd want to be next door. Yeah, it'd be like a prime time area right there. Lever Rocks, Chipotle, and Starbucks.
Well, and they could go there, they couldn't do what they wanted on the lot they wanted to do
That's
it on.
right.
They could do it there, but
Yeah.
he's not happy that I told him he couldn't do what he wanted to do, so.
I've not seen one of these processes from start to finish. What would estimate, how long before Chipotle would actually be open? Any idea? Is that a year
so the-
process, months?
Oh, before it's open.
I don't know, yeah.
Probably 8 months to a year,
Okay, all right,
depending on their plan. Now,
sure.
the plans have just come in. We're still in the middle of putting the application all together for review, so we haven't gotten that far yet, but they just came in yesterday.
Okay.
So we are in that process. Usually with the bigger corporations, the plans are pretty good.
Are they?
Yeah, usually it's just,
They have a team that comes in and knocks those buildings out when they get.
Yeah.
going,
so,
Well, as long as they're not building more than one at a time somewhere.
correct.
Because we've gotten that where they kind of go off to the other one and then come back to us.
Well, and usually the only thing that's missing on those kind of plans is that some of the flood stuff might be a little mess, or sometimes the zoning thing might be off. But for the most part, those plans are usually pretty spot on, because they do them over and over again. So as far as building code goes, they're pretty standard. So that part should go relatively quickly. We've had lots of conversations about flood and zoning and all that stuff, so it should be okay. And they know about the development agreement and all that stuff, so it should be good. So,
Good, that's really
I don't know
good.
if you've seen one of the
Developments.
freestanding buildings, but they're very nice.
Yeah.
They have eaten many of them. Yeah.
we've got a bunch of new houses as well. So we got a duplex that, one that had come in for the variance, to get the third.
Oh, right.
So they're building two, so we're just about ready to issue that permit. And, got another one on Island that we're working through, so there's
Yeah,
a bunch of new construction happening.
yeah. So is it a
Here.
residential home on the island, I guess? So,
So,
okay.
so,
Well, it's good news.
busy.
Any update on Take 5?
Nope, nothing. So they
Should've got
renewed their
Whit
permit.
Yeah.
They renewed the permit, and we're waiting for them to request their finals.
Well, at least it looks better than Dunkin' Donuts.
Anything looks better than Dunkin'
That's true.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They would like that when they were open.
Wendy's.
I know the for lease sign went down.
Yeah, and is that still all you know?
That's all I know.
Oh.
The rumor it was purchased.
There-
I went on the property appraiser's office, it's still in their name, which
Usually
they,
it takes
they
about
sold
30
it to
days.
themselves or something like 3 years ago. It was kind of weird. It was kind of, I don't know. So-
Yeah.
But, like they knew it was coming. Anyway,
Yeah, so apparently my understanding is they've sold it, but, or leasing it, I don't know which it is, but
And True Leaf.
I'm still waiting on their appraisal.
We could be the marijuana capital of the county.
Hope not.
Boy.
There's a lot of those things around. I don't know that we would have enough buildings for that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of crazy.
that's a lot right there.
So yeah, the only thing we're waiting on for that one is,
It's like we're in Amsterdam.
so that's all I have.
Good, well, that's
Thank
good
you.
news.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody other guys got anything? No?
I have a couple of data. So Kelly, I know you'll take a look. So I think when we'd shown you this before, it was in kind of a teal color. In an effort to try to get these here before the block party, we're going with kind of it's not navy, it looks a little navy, but it's more of like a deep royal blue for the shirts.
They all the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of an update. This is the proof from the actual vendor. So it shows like the sleeves. It's very similar. They did a couple stylistic things with the words on the sleeves. And they should be here before Saturday, so we should have them at the block party, but I wanted to
They're nice
to let
looking.
you all.
They are, very nice.
Yeah, I think they will be nice. So we'll be working with finance to finalize the pricing for that. We're also working to set up electronic pay so that people can buy them at the block party without having to come with cash or check.
So we don't like order 100 of these and have them sitting on a shelf? We basically show people the product and then they order it online?
No.
Oh, no.
We'll have, I just mean electronic pay where someone can come and buy
Electronic
it, like,
payment.
Oh,
they can
from
pay
us.
on site without having
Oh,
cash or
okay.
check, yeah.
All right,
Cause typically when we've sold things, it's been cash or check.
okay.
So my goal is to have an electronic option.
I gotcha, I'm
at-
sorry. Yep.
At the block party.
Yep.
Touchless
Thank you.
payment.
Yeah, so we will have these on hand. I think we're ordering about 200 to start. That will be a range of sizes,
Awesome.
but ordering about 200 to start.
Very nice.
So,
I like the color too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
So I wanted to update you on that. The union will be doing our food. We finalized that with them. I think they're gonna do like pork sandwiches and hot dogs.
Nice.
And so then we will be doing the drinks, and then there will be some outside vendors from the community doing almost more kind of dessert type. We let ice cream vendor, kettle corn, that kind of thing. And then we've got the games all set up, the band's all set up. I think we're in a good spot. As far as I know, y'all are planning to be there. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So we will most likely be asking you to serve at least part of the block party in the drinks
Okay.
tent in the city's drink tent. It's a great way for y'all to meet people and talk to people. And so if y'all are good with that, it's a 3-hour.
Praying for no rain too.
Praying for no rain.
Yes.
Um,
Don't want to get rained out again.
yeah, no. So we won't stick you there the whole time, but we'll do an hour and a half-ish if you can do that, and then be out meeting people. And then I wanted to ask, would any of you like to volunteer to be in the dunk tank, or am I gonna have to like force you?
Already volunteered.
I did,
All right.
I did. I
So-
told my wife I need to bring a swimsuit.
Okay.
The dunk tank. Don't you want to get dunked?
I will. I need people to sit in my dunk.
I'm gonna need to learn rules.
Mark-
That's
Mark
why I was in the
volunteers
I
for
only allow
everything.
myself to be cut out of cars.
We were allowed to throw out verbal things, so I gotta learn the rules before I do
To
it.
antagonize the thrower.
Antagonize the thrower.
Yeah,
right.
I'll leave that up to you. Maybe not children, but your friends.
Maybe you should
and
get your
neighbors.
daddy to throw that
So-
for you.
Again, just out of curiosity, do they pay to throw balls at the dunk tank, or is it just free for all?
We weren't gonna have them. We were just gonna have it be a free
Free
for
for all?
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I didn't
We'll
know.
have a line.
There will be a line for
Yeah.
Dump
So-
commission.
That
dunk
was
commission,
the
yeah.
the goal.
Okay.
So. if
This is
y'all
the
would
place.
like
Get
to-
your aggressions out,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
Any questions or anything on timing for this weekend or anything?
I guess, yeah, I think everything's good.
What time you want us, commissioners here?
About a half hour
Um,
early or?
10:30?
Sean, where are we having them park?
They can park at our shop, because we're gonna have golf carts picking people up, so just give them a holler and we'll make sure somebody comes and picks you up.
Yeah,
I'll leave this over here for like handicap and stuff, we'll do.
on that side of it. Yeah, so maybe 10:30
Okay.
over at the public
If you got my
workshop.
number, just holler and I'll have the limo
We'll
come
get you.
get you.
A limo. We want a black one too.
So-
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, at the moment at least. So, everybody good?
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Awesome.
all you got?
I think so. Well, I have some letters that I'm gonna be asking you to sign. If you have a couple of minutes and could wait briefly, I can have them for you now. If you need to rush off, I can get it to you later.
Okay.
But if you've got a couple minutes, there are letters of support for the city's appropriations request. We're just gonna be doing these letters.
Oh, we'll
It's-
stay and sign those.
Everybody
Yeah.
stays.
It's not, well, I'll track you down. If you have to leave, I'm gonna find you. It just
I'll
makes my
stay.
life easier if you have a few minutes.
No, we'll wait.
Mayor.
I
So,
will.
it's not a required part of the process, but it was recommended to us, and we think it's a nice thing to do. We've gotten a decent amount of support from legislators, and so we just want to send a thank you. So if you can wait 5 or 10 minutes and I can get your signature on that, that would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
If not, just let me know and I will find you. So, okay, that was it. I think.
Commissioners are all staying the same, Vice Mayor also?
That will be decided at the meeting, but
Okay, is that how that works?
probably.
All right, I was just curious how that, all right.
I won't punish anybody.
Oh,
That's it.
Awesome.
that's it.
All right.
Just hang around and sign some letters.
Yep, just give me 5 or 10 minutes.
Do I gotta do the banging? Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna adjourn.
Go.
Yeah.